Go ra under ra, I say. I'm a maseta. Ashiwan vibrations. Every baka. May your my bakas and souls be old. May your omits be sound. May your bakas be 11 off ground. When we keep to the breath, the orth, the moth or the seon, the soul of Ra guides and keeps you old. I on my I say Ra, the ma'ed. Ella I say El say I, Christ story chaplain Tata Amen say Ota Ra, the sound Messiah. I am our truth awareness, true talk. Can be a part of the greatest transfer of Ma'el, that's intelligence, Aminology, Ta'angodu. This is all sound logic. And with all that being offered to you, being a fool is absolutely your choice to raise rate 1945. This is another sound logic calibration. We're reminding you that your mental health is directly tied to whether you're tethered to sound or not. To reorientate yourself to sound logic, go to aminra.com. All right. Don't forget, Google, Apple, download the Kagadora app. All right. That way you can be connected to sound, to source, and you can be part of the raise, the re-rise. And you can stop living in an island. That's right, we're decoding the word island because that's all things are. We have to learn to separate the sound of the object or thing is making and what we name it. Because what we name it is being done to us in or about that object. Okay? It's very, very important to recognize and realize the power of Ta'angodu. It's about speaking motion. It's not about speaking the dead. We need to recognize that the dead, the book of the dead, the Bible, the God, the demons, all the symbology, the numbers, all of those things are of the dead. And sound, which is source, Ba'am and Ora, is all about motion. And motion is moved by say, on, do. So we utilize Ta'angodu to break the spelling of English. All right, so we're going to start by getting the programmed view of the word island. An island is any piece of subcontinental land that is completely surrounded by water. Found in oceans, seas, lakes, or rivers, islands are distinct from continents and are generally smaller, though it can range in size from small rocks to large land masses like Greenland. They are formed through volcanic activity, coral reef growth, or in the case of continental islands, by being separated from a larger land mass. Okay, so an island, a land mass that's surrounded by water. Okay, so I think we need to decode the word land. But, of course, we're going to decode the word is. For those who do not realize, I say Ra. I decode that every time you hear my mantra, my saying. Okay, so I is you. You're the Baka. You're the upright being. That's what the stroke means. And this is Ra. This is your soul command, your source of sound. Okay? This is your voice. Okay? This is why the snake, the serpent, and all that's supposed to be so wise and everything like that, because that's the voice. That's the expression of the soul, is your voice. It was the snake that spoke to Adam and Eve in the garden, right? So that's what the S is, the symbology behind the S. It's your voice. So now you have I say. So now whatever this is, you're saying it. Okay, so let's go find out what this is. So now we have L-A-N-D, land. It looks like we have two syllables, land, right? We have an extended one, but la and land. Okay, so I guess you would have I land, or island, island. It's like two syllables. So we have L-A, la. We have the letter L. If you say L, like L, it's going to give you the E-L sound. And that's going to be element. An element is something that can take a charge and can release its charge, give off heat. So now, because we don't have an E here, we have IS, and it's island, la, la, la. You're hearing the A sound. Okay, you're actually hearing AH, la, la, ah. So this means you're giving breath, right, to the flat. Okay, so when something is flat, it's lack of the soul, it's lack of the sound. If you're drinking a carbonated drink, the carbon is the sound, the carbon is the soul. Right? If you're drinking wine, okay, and so you leave it out and it goes flat, okay, so it's missing the essence. Okay, so this is very important when you're decoding to recognize whether a sound is sharp or whether a sound is flat. If it's a flat sound, it's leading you to a dead cipher. Okay, a cipher that's speaking on commanding death. Okay, so now we know that the LA is la. Okay, so this is flat. This is non-upright. Okay. And now we have A-N-D. Right? Land. So we have A-N. So I teach that A-N is artificial on. Against on. Anti-on. Artificial on. A usually typically replaces the O. So now we have I say, we have flat, we have artificial, right? And then we have the D. So in this case, because we have A and D, and this means it's plus something. D, this is telling us that the D is to do, right? It's to add or something that you're doing. Okay, so since it's I say, we're talking about a flat being. Okay, a flat soul, a flat artificial soul. Okay, so this is what's happening on land. Okay, an artificial soul is being added and doing. So an island is a place where you are commanding, okay, to do without your soul voice. Okay, this is what it means. This is your say. You have gone flat. Okay, and you've been added to whatever the place is called a land. They're telling you you've been added there. do. Okay? But here's the trick. You have to agree that an island is a place surrounded by water. They tell you it could be a little tiny rock or it could be a giant place like Greenland. But then they also tell you, or they should tell you, that everything is inside Mothor, not Wator. But we're going to use their language, okay? Everything is inside water. Okay? I shouldn't actually say that because water means woes to the ore. That's what water means. Okay, so when you drink water, when you interact with water, okay, you're commanding woes, harm upon yourself and upon anything that is holding the water. Okay? But to this code, everything, like water is a gas. There's two primary elements. You have gas and you have minerals. Minerals are metals. Okay? Gas, this is your liquids. Okay? First it gets to a liquid and then maybe you get to a solid. And then solid, maybe go to a liquid and then go to a gas. Okay? But so when we understand this, which we all do, right? You have rockets trying to break the membrane that you call a firmament. Okay, when you're in a womb, you're in fluid. Like everything is inside the ore. This is what ether is, right here. This is the thing that nothing is outside of this. Nothing exists outside of this. We already broke this down. Think of a brain. Okay, just think of a big brain with no limbs. Nothing. Everything is inside of it. It's inverted. So it can expand and get larger, but nothing ever is outside of this. You understand? Despite its ability to expand, because it is what it all is. So now, when we understand that this is what this is saying, and by saying this, you're allowing beings without souls to exist, this is very bad. What else do we know about islands? Well, islands are typically a place where you find Bakas, where you find Nubians, where you find copper-colored peoples, where you find peoples with the most sound. It's very interesting. I'll add this to this video. We had a disclosure on how, I forgot that guy's name, but the guy that used to have actually an island, and all the Hollywood people and everything would go to his island, and this individual was doing a bunch of research on Tainos and all this stuff, and most recently individuals that were called Jamaicans, and trying to research on why we're the fastest people on the planet naturally, genetically. Like what's so special about us? Well, first of all, I'm the sound messiah. So if you haven't heard, I'm going to tell you that everything moves at the speed of sound. Everything. You understand that? Okay, and so the place, the geographical location that you call Jamaica is the heart of sound. This is why the whole entire military is there. It doesn't matter what excuses you see. I'm telling you why they're there. I told you why they were there 2 years ago. Or why they were going there. Okay? So, it is what it is. This is why everything that grows out of Jamaican soil is going to be the most potent, whether it's coffee or cotton. This is why 90% of the snails that exist are found in Jamaica. So that doesn't mean they were brought there. Okay, that means everywhere else they came from there. I already told us. Go get my book. 99 Nigors are clones. All right. So it's very, very important that we break that code. So what are we looking at? Right? Like these things, if it's not an island, we do not want to command that, these are places where where humans live. Let's just say that, because humans is a classification for a parasite entity that obviously has no sound. It's lack of its sound, lack of its ability to receive and transmit sound. Why? Because you have eyes. This is what's stopping you. Okay? You have to read. Everything that you know came through your eyes. Everything that you believe came through your eyes. It overrides what you came with. All right? So that's part of breaking this island code, and all codes. It's coming out of your eyes and into your senses. Okay, so island. I say is fine. First, we're going to decode the word or convert the word, and then we're going to actually name whatever that piece of land or soil or whatever we're going to come up with. We're going to figure out. Okay? So we have I say, that's fine. And so we don't want something to be flat. Okay? We don't want that. Okay? We want something to be erect. Okay? And so now we're just going to put or right there. Okay? Because the or means that it's keeping something. Okay? And we're going to put ed.